Good day, everyone. We are the fifth presenters, and for today, we are going to discuss all about the agrarian reform from the Spanish colonial Philippines to the present. Land reform has been a persistent issue since then, and worse scenarios were observed during the colonial era when the Spanish colonizers introduced new landholding systems. For today, we are going to discuss everything about the agrarian reforms that vary from each period and administration. We are to dig even deeper and trace back our history. Pre-Spanish period. What was the type of land ownership during the pre-Spanish time? Land was commonly owned by the community known as barangay, where Filipinos lived before the Spaniards came to the Philippines. The settlement consists of 30 to 100 families and was ruled by a chieftain or datus who comprised the nobility. There were also the maharlikas or the freemen, the aliping namamahay, and the aliping sagigilid or the slaves. Despite the existence of a social structure, everyone had access to the fruits of the soil. Everyone in the barangay, regardless of status, had access on the land and mutually shares resources and the fruits of their labor. What was the economic system during this period? Food production was intended for family consumption only. Later on, neighboring communities were engaged in a barter trade, exchanging their goods with others. Rice was the medium of exchange as money was yet unknown. So during the pre-Spanish period, Filipinos already had their form of government, and by that, they were given the freedom to till the soil, make profit from it, and everyone, regardless of their status, had access to the land, in comparison to the Spanish period, wherein they were deprived of that right. Now, during the Spanish period, a period from 1521 until 1896, the Spaniards introduced the concept of encomienda to the Philippines. So what is encomienda? Encomienda is the giving of lands or the royal land grants to the Spanish conquerors that were loyal to the Spanish monarch. A matter of policy, encomenderos must defend his encomienda from external attack, maintain peace and order within, and support the missionaries. And in turn, the encomenderos were given the right to collect taxes or tribute from the Indios or the natives who were tilling it. Natives within these areas became mere tillers and did not even have any rights to the land. So, makompare na to, no? Ikan sa katong pre-Spanish period o during the Spanish period, wherein ang katong mga Indios or the native who were tilling the land, they were deprived of their right to own the land. Gihimo lang yun silang katong mere tillers lang. Wala sila right sa land nga ilang gina-cultivate. What were some of the problems encountered in the encomienda system? So these are the problems. Abusive encomenderos collected more tributes that became land rentals from the natives living in the area. So see for example, ang isa ka an Indio na siya'y gi-own nga land even if by ancestral domain iya hatong land, but if katong land is gi-award na, gihimo na gihatag na siya dito sa mga Spanish conquerors who were loyal to the Spanish monarch, wala na siya right dito sa land. And by that, ang encomenderos nag-abuse sila sa ilang power, and they collected more tributes, and those tributes became mura na siya nahimong land rentals nga even if by ancestral domain ang tag-iya atong land is ang mga Indios, nahulog na hinoon nga sila ang nagrenta sa land nga supposedly ilaha. A compras y vandala system was practiced wherein tillers were made to compulsory sell at a very low price or surrender their agricultural harvest to Spanish authorities wherein comenderos can resell it for a profit. So there another problem na sad kaning compras y vandala system. Kaning ilang gi-practice nga katong mga tillers, katong mga Indios, gi-compulsory jud sila, required jud sila nga magbaligya lang at a very low price no matter how good is the quality sa ilang product, sa ilang harvest, but they were compulsory to sell it for a very low price to the Spanish authorities so that ang mga encomenderos kay makaginansya sa ilang harvests. Now, why was the ownership of land limited to only a few families? The Spanish crown made a law in 1865 ordering landholders to register their land holdings. Only those who were aware of these decrees benefited. Ancestral lands were claimed, and as a result, many peasant families were driven out from the lands they have been cultivating for centuries or were forced to become tillers. So, that is why nga, ang ownership of land limited lang sa gamay lang na families. It is because katong ang Spanish Crown nagbuhat sila og order in 1865 nga ang katong landholders gi-require nga mag-register sa land nga ilang ginapanag-iyahan. And since gamay lang ang nakabalo, so gamay lang ang naka-register sa ilang land. So, wala naka-benefit to mga peasants. Siyempre, uninformed sila. So, even if ang ilahatong lands by ancestral domain gikuha sa ilaha since wala naka-register ang ilahang mga lands. And bisan pag they have been cultivating it for years since ang katong order man ang gisunod, so wala jud na ilaha ang mga lands nga ilang giatiman for centuries na. And napugos na lang sila to become tillers of the land nga dili sila maka-profit pag-ayo. Next, agrarian uprisings from 1745 up to 1746. The agrarian revolt happened between 1745 and 1746 in Batangas, Laguna and Cavite, and Bulacan. The revolt happened in the towns of Lian and Nasugbu, Batangas. The uprising resonated in other towns of the neighboring provinces, notably Binyan, Imus, Silang, Kawit, Bacoor, San Mateo, Taguig, Parañaque, and Hagonoy. The grabbing of lands by the Catholic religious orders angered the native landowners and demanded that their lands be returned based on ancestral domain. However, the Spanish priests refused, which resulted to riots and massive looting of convents and burning down of churches and ranches. Troops were sent from Manila to Batangas to quell the disturbance. The encounter was bloody and those who surrendered were pardoned. So, because the natives have been abused, no? Wala sila choice but to do or like to revolt against the Spaniards sa ilahang during their fight sa ilahang ownership sa land. What were some of the revolutionary highlights that occurred during this period? As more tillers were abused, exploited, and deprived of their rights, the revolution of peasants and farmers articulated their aspirations for agrarian reform and for a just society. So, di ba, who wouldn't want a just society? Everyone wants it for sure. And because siguro napuno na sila because of the abuses nga ilang nagian, they've been exploited, they have been deprived of their rights. So they conducted a revolution, no? Nga ang naglead kay mga peasants and farmers to fight for their rights. Nga gusto sila nga there should be an agrarian reform. Diba? To have a just society. Mo na ilang gusto. The agrarian conflicts reached the ear of King Philip VI, who appointed Oidor, a judge of the royal audiencias and chancilleras, Pedro Calderon Enriquez, to investigate the charges brought against the religious orders and to ascertain the validity of their titles to the lands in question. So, with the agrarian conflicts, no naabot siya sa nabalaan siya na King Philip VI, nga gi-appoint niya si Pedro Calderon Enriquez to investigate jud kung unsa jud ang mga charges nga nahitabo, unsa jud ang the story behind the agrarian conflicts. The friars were ordered to submit their titles to a secular judge, but refused to comply. In the face of their opposition, the Governor-General dispossessed the friars of the lands which were said to have been illegally occupied by the friars and which they were continuing to hold without legitimate title, restoring the lands to the crown. So, nakuha sa gikuhaan sa Governor General ang mga friars sa katong mga lands nga they have kanang known nga gi-occupy sa mga friars nga kanang illegal, wala sila legitimate title, so gikuha gihatag dito sa the crown. Now, the case was appealed by the friars to the Royal Audiencia of Manila, and that tribunal upheld the first decision. Then the case was further appealed to the Council of the Indies in Spain, and again, the decision was confirmed. But the whole matter did not stop here. Subsequently, the friars won their case and retained the disputed lands, and their ownership of the lands remained intact even after the end of the Spanish regime. So, even if ang katong mga peasants, ang mga farmers were able to kanang fight for the rights, still, the friars won their case. Now, they were still able to fight pod sa, even if kabalo sila nga they were like cultivating the land illegally, gi-hold nila ang land, illegally lang gi-occupy, but then, they won the case, and they retained the disputed lands, and it remained intact even after the end of the Spanish regime. So it just says that during that time, the natives weren't able to kanang successfully attain or redeem the rights that were once theirs.